Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to Left Side Strong Side. I'm your host, Chance Allison. Joining me, I got my panel back. Mike Deacon's back. Jacob London's back. And joining us, special guest of the week. Actually, we were supposed to be on last week, but we flip-flop. I'm glad he's back for the show. Eric Muller. Eric, how you doing?
Thank you for having me again. I apologize for missing last week. I sounded exactly like Cookie Monster. That is not for a good show.
No, don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. But yeah, we're here to talk about all the goings on of the NFL Week 5, and yeah, I'm gonna have a lot to say in a few minutes. But first of all, before we get into any of the games, we gotta salute the one we lost, and it's a very, very, very unfortunate timing this happened. Dick Butkus, legendary Chicago linebacker, literally passed away a few hours before the Bears played a game that Thursday. Dick Butkus was one of the greatest defenders to ever do it. Looking at some of his two-time Defensive Player of the Year, 5-time first-team All-Pro, 3-time second-team All-Pro, 8 Pro Bowlers, 60th All-Decade team, 70th All-Decade team, 75th and 100th anniversary team. Hall of Famer, no doubt. One of the greatest players in the Chicago Bears history.
NFL history.
NFL history, period. But definitely Chicago.
Yeah, he was the monster of the Midway.
Yeah, and I mean, you can't really talk about. I mean, obviously, yeah, you talk about the man, and just like I obviously haven't really never seen him play, but I know my in-laws were pretty upset because my mother-in-law is a Bears fan, so yeah, it was tough week.
Yeah, tough week, especially again, like I said, passed away just a few hours before the Bears got to play. So, Dick Butkus, R.I.P. Man, you were one of the greats. You will never be forgotten. Speaking of which, though, like I said, I feel like motherfucker. I'm sorry. I feel like this loss in a way kind of fueled Chicago because K came out and they just beat the ever-living shit out of Washington.
If there was ever a game to win,
yeah,
like this was that, guys. You lose. I honestly, they lose this game. Chase Field's probably burnt to the ground. Like they probably
not Chase Field. Soldier Field. They'd be so pissed off they'd burn the Diamondback Stadium out of spite.
Like Soldier Field's probably burnt to the ground. Like that one would have been franchise destroying. We'll talk about a franchise destroying loss later, but that one would have been. I don't know how many fans would have come back from that.
Absolutely, and look, one of a Stonks front runner of the week. I'm not sure if anybody's the actual Stonks player of the week. He's not mine.
He's mine.
Okay, yeah. You got to talk about him real quick.
Yeah, DJ Moore. What a freaking performance!
Can the real DJ Moore stand up finally? Thank you.
Jesus.
Right, we've been waiting how many years for this?
Well, we've been waiting. We've been waiting how many weeks just on the Bears? Like, how many? I would love to know how many people had him benched in fantasy because of how bad he's been over the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, I want to sleep.
Had him in.
Sorry,
DJ Moore went. DJ Moore could not be stopped in this game.
He was incredible, fantastic, fantastic performance. Finally, looking like this game was finally the one where it's like, oh, okay, I get why you traded the first round pick. I get why you traded the first overall pick. This was the type of performance that they needed, and that made you understand. Okay, I get it. It wasn't it's one where it's like, okay, this doesn't feel like a mistake anymore. Especially, it's looking like a mistake from the Panthers' side of point of view. But
yeah, We'll get there later.
But for the Bears, it's like, okay, no, we get it. I understand why you did this, and it was probably at some point. I think there is going to be a little bit of a civil war in the Bears organization of the coach or me. Justin Fields putting up a pretty good fight for why he should be the one to stick around.
A hilarious thing when we look at the stat line of this game. Justin Fields, 282 passing yards and 4 touchdowns, literally between 3 different players. That's it. It's DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, and Robert Tonyan. Nobody else caught a pass for the Bears all night.
Yeah. Rivera's gone. End of the season.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we knew that going into this season. There was no way unless Washington won the Super Bowl, he was gone.
Yeah. The only thing that's going to stop him from doing it, like the only thing that they might do it earlier is if another team does it, looking at you Bears, and tries and goes after the enemy. That's the only reason I could see Washington goes, we'll get rid of him early so we can give the job to the enemy. Because right now they can't. And that's that's the only thing I could see possibly happening. But right now, Rivera's gone. I don't know if Sam Howell is their quarterback next year. There's a lot of questions on Washington. A lot of questions.
Yeah, Sam Howell's looking pretty good. And to be fair, he had a pretty solid game, mostly because they were so behind they had to keep airing it out. Dude threw the ball 51 times on the day. But costly turnovers, sacked 5 times. Brian Robinson was nowhere to be found this game.
Yeah.
Which is shocking considering the defense he was going up against.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, look, quality win for Chicago. They needed it. They really needed it. I think just insanity.
They got this win, and they also got the win of being able to unload Chase Claypool for something. So they had a good week.
Another thing, they actually got something for Claypool, but the funny thing, that's got to be the fastest depreciation of a player I've maybe ever seen. He was traded for a second.
Yep.
Technically, it was a first round pick. It's just a 32nd
32nd,
round.
technically a first.
32nd pick. So that's technically the first round, and he's going for a 7th round, if I believe.
We all knew when that trade happened.
It was a bad trade.
It was a bad trade. The only reason the Bears did it was because the Packers were going to do it. And the Steelers were like, well, we're going to give it to the Bears because that's going to be a better draft pick. That's the only reason they did it. And every Packers fan right now is like, thank fucking Christ.
Yeah. For Claypool, though, if he can't succeed in that offense, then it's over.
Will he get a chance?
I don't know. Maybe.
We'll realistically, is he actually going to realistically get a chance with that offense?
If Robbie chose can get looks, so can he.
In a 70-point blowout. I think
also,
McDaniel was saying that he was going to use him as a punt returner, I think.
I also think he might get used as a tight end, so
which is weird because he's not he's bigger for wide receiver, but he's not tight end big, which is odd.
Right.
Yeah, we'll see.
He's not broad.
Yeah. But either way, Bears quality win. PLD, just pop your champagne. You're not going to get a chance to do that this season, but you got this one. So you know what? And look, let's give a big round of applause to the Bears. They finally won a game since Elon Musk bought Twitter.
Yep. Well done.
Only professional sports team in the country to not have a win since Elon Musk bought Twitter. All right, moving on to our next game. It's hard standing alone. It really is. It's hard when you're in 3-on-1. It's hard being the only person on a panel without a victory. So Jacob, I feel for you for a second.
Thank you.
A second. Now look, I'm not sure I actually picked the Jacksonville Jaguars to win this game. I think I was close, but I was edging toward the Jaguars purely because I think we talked about it on the show. They were in London for a week. They had a week to rest. They had a week to adjust to London time. Meanwhile, the Bills had to traverse across the Atlantic.
Look, I've been saying since the start of the season, and I didn't think we'd lose the fucking Jets game, but this was my first loss. This was the Bills' first loss of the season. I always knew they were losing this game because of that exactly. I also thought Jacksonville would be a lot better than they are. The biggest thing that took away from this game, outside of thank you, Jackson, thank you, London, we are never going back because you have decimated our defense, and Milano hurts. Hurts.
Yeah, that's the thing. A week after losing Trey White, Matt Milano might be out for the year.
He is. He's not coming back. I know they haven't officially. He's done. He's not coming back this year. That one hurt.
Daquan Jones also probably out for the year.
Yeah, they hurt. That hurt a lot. Look, the biggest takeaway I had from this, Jacksonville aren't great. They're really not.
And you were the card-carrying member of the Jacksonville fan club this whole offseason.
Jacksonville's offense. Okay, the fact that this was 25-20 is a real... Like, they were going up against essentially our backup defense because we have lost so many main players.
I mean, you lost 3 main players. Like, not going to call the backups. You know, Jordan Porter's still there.
Von Miller wasn't playing either. Like, Von Miller
was not playing.
So he didn't do a lot. Like we were missing quite a few major players on our defense.
Fair.
Jacksonville had all of the benefit I get like of London, everything, and they only put 25 points up. That's concerning for Jacksonville. Especially when that division is no longer the very easy win that we all thought it would be. It's not the worst division in football by far. Like it's, there's a certain north that is. And I just, at the moment, Jacksonville, this was not an impressive win. Trevor Lawrence, 2 bad fumbles. Don't get me wrong. Like Allen's interception.
That's been a problem with Trevor Lawrence. Though. Like last year, he lost 12 fumbles, and he's got 3 lost this year.
Yeah. It's no one's really talking about it. It's a problem that Trevor Lawrence fumbles the ball a lot.
That's the biggest problem Lawrence has at this point in his career.
Well, it's Lawrence and turnovers is a big problem. He turns the ball over dumb, and they're really bad turnovers. Allen's wasn't great, but it was an arm punt. I'm not going to murder him over that one. Like it wasn't the end of the world, and so that one not the worst. The drive when they just went, hey, we're going to score within 40 seconds. I was like, where the hell has this been all game? But disappointing loss. The biggest problem I have with it was the casualties that came part of it. That's the biggest heartbreak out of all of this. I mean, I knew we were losing this game, but my God, losing those players hurts. That really hurts and makes this a tougher loss than it should have been.
No, absolutely. I will give a shout out to Travis Etienne. Travis Etienne. Okay, 2 things. One, Travis Etienne ran roughshod on that defense.
Yes, he did.
Secondly, the run defense for Jacksonville stepped up. No rusher for the Bills had more than 15 yards. I'm not kidding. Josh Allen was their leading rusher. Where have I seen this before? Wow. And he only had 14 yards on the day.
My other takeaway, you can see Allen is playing smarter. There wasn't any really stupid. There was a couple of opportunities he had to make the really dumb play, and he didn't. And I was like, oh, you're getting smarter. That's good. So I think the Jets' loss was the thing he needed. I think it helped him because it's kind of made him go, nope, can't do that. And he hasn't since. And like even this game, he wasn't playing dumb. He was playing like a guy who's fucking jet lagged.
Yeah, he turned it on in the fourth quarter, had a chance to win the game, fell ever so short, mostly due to a somewhat predictable Josh Allen fumble.
There wasn't Josh Allen. It was.
I'm sorry, it was not Josh Allen that fumbled the ball. It was not Josh Allen that fumbled the ball. It was Diggs. Diggs fumbled the ball.
Yeah. And look, and it was a fumble in that like he knew if I get tackled here, the game's over anyway. So he was trying to lateral it. I get it. Like it was one of those. I get why I'm not. Yeah, it's a desperation move. I hate that it technically counts because it shouldn't.
Yeah. But either way, rough loss for Buffalo, who now falls to 3-2. And I mean, look, much needed win for Jacksonville. Bad loss for Buffalo because Miami's heating up, and we'll talk about not heating up in terms of like play, but in terms of like they're piling up wins. And now they now have one over Buffalo in terms of overall wins. Up next, we have a battle of the South: Houston Texans versus the Atlanta Falcons. Now, look, we've talked a lot about CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud has been killing it, and he's been crushing it. He's been the best rookie QB so far. And Houston, not nearly as bad as we thought they would be. All that is true. But so is this bizarre stat. Desmond Ridder has never lost a game at home. That goes back to college, too. The dude has never lost a home game in his career.
Damn.
Which is like the weirdest thing. I'm not sure what happened, but he becomes a significantly better quarterback when he's playing at his home turf.
Weird.
And this happened here. Look, we said a lot about Desmond Ridder, mostly negative about Desmond Ridder, but he did manage to turn it on in this game. He played pretty well.
It was the best pro game he's played by far. Like, and nothing else even comes close to it. Like, and he was spreading the ball around the field, which he's not known to do. Like, Kyle Pitts actually had a game this week.
Kyle Pitts did something, everybody.
This Falcons offense, if he can continue this progression, they're in good shape. Like, they have some really nice weapons, and I said it, this throughout the season, quietly a pretty solid defense. Like, they're close. Ridder is definitely the wild card in this equation, but the Falcons are a team that's like, every week when we do our pick'em segments, I'm like, oh, the Falcons, I don't know what to think, because you just don't know if he shows up, they're in any game. If he doesn't show up, obviously that's another situation. But this was arguably, I picked this as my game of the week. This went down to the wire. Like, both these two teams fought tooth and nail. This was an exciting game to watch, actually, surprisingly. Like,
it was.
It was, the score does not reflect what was on the field. These two teams were going at it. Like, this was a ton of heart on both sides. Stroud still looked good. It was not his best game, but he still looked good. Houston, looks like you might have your guy. And Dameon Pierce got going a little bit better than he had in some previous games. This was, exciting for the future of football for two young teams.
Yeah, I think the other big takeaway I've got from this is Texans, you finally have your coach. I think as Nico Ryans, damn, he's a good coach, and you've got your coach, you've got your quarterback. Could get scary. These guys could be good. Just Texans are a good football team. Falcons, I still think they're the favorite by the deadline to go after Kirk Cousins. I still think that is. I think that is the move for the Falcons to make. I don't think the Jets are going to make that move anymore. Like, I think they're done in that idea. I think that if they're going to make a move, it is to go for like the Jets aren't making a quarterback change at this point.
No.
I really do think Falcons, you got to make that phone call to Kirk Cousins, because with these weapons and that sneaky good defense and that division, you've got a chance. You've really got a chance of doing something.
Absolutely. Hey, my prediction for Falcons playoffs doesn't look so crazy now, is it?
No, it's not. It's really not.
Absolutely. I heard you get a chance. You can't see any of this game.
I did catch a lot of it. I mean, CJ Stroud, he's still a rookie, but the promise is there. He looks like the legit deal for Houston. And, once their offensive line is no longer decimated by injuries, they got a real chance of taking the South, I think. And then for Atlanta's side, I like Atlanta. I saw them against my Lions. They put up a good fight there. Everyone forgets about that sneaky defense. It is better than advertised. Yeah. But my only question about the Falcons, I don't think it's just real. I think it's just the offensive play calling. Like, I think Arthur Smith, like he has the toys he wants. He just doesn't know what to do with them because he keeps wanting to either go with Robinson all the time, but it's like Kyle Pitts is there. You drafted him with 5th overall. Use him. Fourth. Yeah, use him. But maybe if you do get a Kirk Cousins, someone who could facilitate the ball a little bit better, because that's what Kirk does better than anyone. He knows how to just hit the target. He's not going to get the deep bomb. He's going to get those low to mid range shots.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, Houston, don't hang your head with this one. But Atlanta, I'm a little shocked just because like I thought this would be like the streak breaker, because like Houston was heating out, they're playing really well, didn't play as well as they usually do, but still not an awful game from Houston. I wouldn't be upset about this loss.
Like, yeah, they lost, but they didn't look like losers at that.
Yeah, exactly. And got to mention this morning, Atlanta added another piece. They traded for Van Jefferson.
Van Jefferson.
Yeah, which is I think it's a good move for them because he was buried on the Rams depth chart. He was going to be 4th or 5th. Where he's going to come to Atlanta and he's going to have a fighting. He's got to beat Matt Collins. He's got to beat Matt Collins. So I don't, he's either 2 or 3 on Atlanta, and that's a good extra hand. He's not a game breaker or anything like that, but it's a solid extra hand to have in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, just quick aside, Matt Collins, real quick. Just a really quick story. I was playing Madden with my brother not too long ago, and for whatever reason I picked the Raiders, and I scored on him with Matt Collins 3 times. I kept scoring with Matt Collins just to piss him off. It was great. But Eric, let's talk about your boy. Let's talk about the Detroit Lions, because look, they had some offensive struggles at the first start of the year, but holy fuck, is that offense woken up?
And we were down Gibbs and St. Brown, and people stepped up. In the past, when it was the quote-unquote same old Lions, this is the game we lose, or this is the game that we win on a last-second field goal. This shows the progression from Motor City Dan Campbell. We came in, faced a weaker opponent, and we dominated all 3 aspects of the game. Like no one looked bad. Like usually the third quarter of the season, we were solid. It's nice to experience this as a Lions fan, because again, in the past,
this is the game. 84 years,
right? Oh, and hopefully this ends it. But this is the thing where it's like, okay, in the past we would win by 6 but no, we win in. And we just dominated all 3 aspects of the game, and it was so nice to see. And again, what's that?
Right now, that the Lions remind me of the most 2021's Bills.
Ooh,
They're not the best team. They're not the best team in their conference.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't want to play them.
No.
And and unfortunately, they have the single hottest head coach candidate right now.
Oh yeah.
Don't be like the Bills. This is your year. Go for it, because that's what's killed us. Like we lost Daboll, and Allen hasn't been the same since.
Well, we're looking at possibly losing both Johnson and Glenn at the end of the season if things keep going the way they are. So, I mean, Ben
Johnson's going to have his pick.
He's going to get any job he wants.
Panthers, oof.
Yeah, let's talk about the Panthers real quick. There's a lot of discontent, and I didn't mention it. I don't think like clips of anything. There was an interview where Frank Reich was doing a post game and talking about like dysfunction between upper management and his departments, saying like they're a little more hands-on, a little more demanding. So like what I took away from that is Frank Reich really wanted Stroud, not Bryce Young.
Well, not only that, there's the other clip of
the
coaching department wanted Stroud of saying, are you going to go to Carolina basketball games? Like, we'll see you at some Carolina basketball games when you're living here. Like, they were taking Stroud. And then again, like, we've seen this happen consistently where the coach doesn't want that certain player and they're overruled to get it, and it doesn't work. One of them goes. In the end,
Yeah.
one of them has to go, and it really.
Vince Young, please stand up.
Even Tua with the Dolphins. Flores went. Trey and then Trey Lance with 49ers. Like Trey Lance went because he never wanted him, and then so we'll see what happens. I think, but the worst part, if I'm a Panthers fan, you traded. There's a real chance you traded Caleb Williams and DJ Moore plus some other picks that I can't even remember what they were.
It was Darnell Wright
For
is what
Bryce
it turned into. But no, it actually was Jalen Carter because
that was
it's actually Jalen Carter is who that was. So
Jalen Carter, Derek Brown, and Brian Burns in the same line. Holy fuck, that would have been amazing.
Yeah. But you traded that for Bryce Young, and Bryce ain't looking amazing. He's not looking terrible yet. Like, don't get me wrong, he's not. He's not like, oh my god, what have you done? But he's not looking great. He's not looking this was worth completely trading our entire future for.
I will say, like, someone who's watched copious amounts of Alabama football, Bryce Young is the best Alabama quarterback I've seen in the last decade. And that's granted. I granted, the selection's not great, but I do think Bryce Young has, of the Alabama quarterback, had the best chance to translate to the NFL level. Now, granted, he's not looking at so far. He can adapt. He needs better weapons. He needs a better offensive line.
Yeah, well, the Panthers, they're the start of the rebuild, and they got to go down to the struts for this one because Matt Rule left them with nothing. There's no offensive weapons. Defense is outside of Brian Barnes and Derek Brown. There's not a lot to write home about. So I'm not ready.
They got JC Horn. That's in the piece of build.
If he's not injured, but
if he's playing,
but it's part of the rebuild process. I not willing to give up on Young yet. It's just one of those things like the fans got to realize this is going to be a 2-3 year project. See how good it is. I understand when you're looking at how CJ Stroud is playing or Anthony Richardson when he's playing, when you're looking at those other rookie quarterbacks and you're like, why isn't Young doing that? Because his leading receiver is Adam Thielen, a 32-year-old wide receiver. They don't have an offensive weapon.
I really do think going up and getting the first pick was going to end up being a mistake. I think that.
Oh, I agree. With that draft we had,
if the Bears traded to the Colts and you then trade with the Colts and you don't have to give up DJ Moore. Mm-hmm. That may have been better. But right now, the DJ Moore cost is very heavy, and you're really feeling it. And I think, look, the joke of you traded Caleb Williams for Bryce Young. Look, you wouldn't have known it. There's no way you could have possibly known that. I'm not gonna slaughter anyone over that. The DJ Moore one that rough.
One hurts. That one hurts.
That's gonna hurt because he needs someone, just anyone he needs. And right now, you don't have a pick to go grab someone next year, which hurts. You don't, wide receivers right now. You could maybe try and get Higgins. But is he really going to want to go there? You're going to have to pay massive overs to convince him to come to the Panthers.
Right. And is Higgins a true number one?
Yeah. Is he? I don't think so, but, it's.
And you're going to have to give up that second round pick to get Higgins at this point. So then you don't have.
He's a free agent next year. So, if
they were trade, but I get what you're saying now.
Yeah. If you decide, but you're right. You're going to have to give up a pick. If you go, hey, we'll take him now, or we'll or if they franchise him and try and take him, then you are going to have to give up a fairly premium pick.
Yeah,
and you can't afford that. You're in a rebuild. You need O linemen. You need defensive players. There is a lot of need in that team.
You need to build through the draft, and you've already given up a lot of capital.
Yeah.
That's a good problem for Carolina.
So Panthers. Panthers, you're in for a rough couple of years, guys. Like this is a full rebuild, and you've got an undersized quarterback. So what happened? Like we're already seeing it. What happens when he gets hit? He's getting hurt, and that's scary. So trust me, as someone who kind of supports the Cardinals, an undersized quarterback, they get injured a lot.
Okay, but quick question though. Do we know for a fact that Bryce Young plays Call of Duty? Because if not, you're already in way better shape than you are with Kyler.
Well, yeah. He always gets injured around November.
Yeah. But either way, Lions, great quality win. I had for me, from the jump, I had Lions the third best team in the NFC. They're proving it right now, most because one team definitely did not prove it on Sunday. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, Lions.
Right now, Lions have a legitimate argument. Like, look, 49ers is the best team in football.
Absolutely.
Lions have a debate to possibly be the second. It's a debate. Don't get me wrong. It's not guaranteed.
No, I see what you mean. Like it's debatable. Like the points are there.
There's a debate. I was wrong about the Lions. I was 100% wrong. This is their division to lose. Holy crap, they're a good team.
Yeah.
That just does my heart good hearing that.
I also love this whole new trend Jacob's on where like he's like once he's been proven wrong, he immediately gets off the train. He does not get Philly did that to you last year. Like
I'm not no, I'm getting off some trains pretty quickly. There's a few I'm gonna stay on, but I'm getting off a lot of them.
There's one particular that I know you're gonna get off that we'll talk about later in the show.
Yeah, I'm off that one real bad.
Yeah, speaking of rookie quarterback, let's talk about the Indianapolis Colts taking on the visiting Tennessee Titans. Now, Indy did win, but it did come at a cost. Anthony Richardson is hurt yet again.
Oh, this poor kid.
Right?
This is the third time in 4 games the dude's been hurt.
Yeah. And look, admittedly, the second one's one of those can't help it because it's a concussion. So like there's not a whole lot you can do. This one's bad. This is concerning as well for the Colts. Cool, we're gonna Andrew Luck him. That's fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. We're gonna do it all over again. We've seen this movie. It's not a fun movie. It's not a very good one.
No.
There
was no happy ending at the end of this movie.
No. Yeah, it was franchise destroying, and they're gonna do it again. So, Colts, you got to figure something out, or you got to sit him and just put Minshew in and let Minshew get murdered, and while you try and rebuild your O line. Like, as much as I like Minshew,
hey, how dare you sentence our Lord and Savior Gardner Minshew to die?
But Richardson
for our
needs
sins,
and they need to make sure that O line is better. Because right now they're gonna kill their franchise quarterback.
Yeah, but is Quentin Nelson still good? Is he still good? Because the dude was one of the best guards in football for years, but what the hell happened to him?
Well, I mean, Zach Moss for how many yards? So I mean, the run game is good. So when the guards,
that's the other thing we got to talk about. Jonathan Taylor off the pup list. He has come back, and he has now signed a new extension.
Yes.
18 million over 18 million a year for 3 years, which Saquon's looking at this, he's pissed off.
Look, okay, he is, but I think also Jonathan Taylor had a lot better of an argument than Saquon. And I think also, but here's Jonathan Taylor, the entire running back position now rests on your shoulders. If you are bad over the next 3 years, you will fuck up everyone. You will have destroyed the running back position. At least any chance of them getting paid. This is one of the biggest, most important contracts in NFL history. Just because if Jonathan Taylor gets a season-ending injury at some point, either this year or next year, that's it. Running backs aren't getting paid this type of contract. He's it, and especially after what happened to Chubb.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Conversely, though, Tennessee, look, you had a great win last week. Hope you enjoyed that because that's over. Yeah, the struggle of Tennessee are once again noted. Passing game sucks. If you stop Derrick Henry, you stop that team.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good luck in London.
Good luck.
Yeah.
You're
Again,
gonna die.
This is one that are in need of a quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, we already know Ryan Tannehill. The only reason Ryan Tannehill is still here is because his cap hit would have been horrific had they cut him.
Yeah.
But also, their first backup plan didn't work. Malik Willis did not pan out, or has not panned out yet. He still could, but you also got Levis. Ooh.
Yeah.
I still don't fully believe in. I do not trust a man who puts mayo in his coffee. That's just me.
Good
you want to
by.
know why he slipped around too? That's why. But still, Tennessee, your struggles are well noted, and it does suck. I think Vrabel's a good coach, but it sucks seeing him get like. Yeah,
Vrabel needs to go. Get out of that job. There are going to be several good jobs next year, including possibly going home.
Right. If I'm Vrabel, I'm resigning before I get fired because that GM hasn't done him any favors.
No.
Well, I mean, the previous GM really screwed him over because hey, you know what? We're gonna trade your best pass catching weapon, and then we're gonna replace him with peanuts.
Yeah.
Because Traylon Burks he has not worked, and also D-Hop has not worked as of yet. I don't understand the logic of him standing here. I still don't get why D-Hop decided to come here. You talk about him going home.
140 yards this week.
He did. D-Hop did 104 was it?
140.
140. D-Hop, really?
D-Hop's not the problem in that team. D-Hop's actually not playing terribly. He's playing decently.
That's how bad this team is. D-Hop went off, and I didn't even know.
Yeah, D-Hop's playing pretty well. It's Tannehill. They don't have a quarterback. That's the problem.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. That's about Tennessee. D-Hop went off, and I didn't even know. Full disclosure, I did not watch this game. I was busy with other things, and we'll talk about later. Speaking of Vrabel going home, let's talk about the former home of Mike Vrabel, the New England Patriots. Well, look, I, as an AFC fan, have been waiting for this day. I know Mike's been waiting for this day. Jake has been waiting for this day.
You have no idea how much I've been waiting for this day.
Eric, you're not even an AFC person, but I know you've waited for this day. The Patriots are ass.
The Patriots are dead. They are. That's it. Like any semblance of the dynasty,
it's done.
Is dead. It's gone. It's over and officially dead. They are done. My favorite part about all of this has been Patriots fans bitching. Like, dude, you were the most dominant team for 20 fucking years, and you've had one bad season. Grow up. Come on.
Yeah. I think Colin called it out in the chat. The Patriots in the last 2 weeks have been outscored 72-3.
Yep.
It's delightful.
Yeah, I mean it's delightful if you're anybody else. If you're a Pats fan or the Patriots in general, this is awful.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm not sure where y'all stand, but for me, very rare to have a repeat non-songs player of the week. I got it this week, Mac Jones.
Absolutely. Any justice in the world, that was Mac Jones's last game as a quarterback.
No, you see, it is good.
I was going to say, I know they still have their bye week, but there are potentially 12 more Mac Jones not Stonks player of the weeks coming. So I'm excited about this.
Oh, look, no, I want Mac Jones to start next week just to get benched again. I want to see Mac Jones get benched 3 weeks in a row.
We keep saying this is the worst offense in football. This is bad. This is really bad. And The defense ain't much better right now, and admittedly, they are decimated with injuries. Like the defense, I understand, but holy crap, this offense is horrific.
Yeah,
And
to give you people an idea, Mac Jones finished the day going 12 for 22 for 110 yards, 2 picks, and a quarterback rating of 7.
he's like, this is bad. This is.
Oh yeah.
You remember how we were saying at the start of the year, Bill could be fired. Bill could
No.
actually be fired.
Look,
Bill the GM can get fired. I don't know
Yes.
about Bill the
Here's
coach.
the-
But that's the problem. No,
Yes.
and that's
Good.
but that's the problem. I think they're one and the same. I think you
Mhm.
you can't keep both. You can't
You
fire
can't remove
one
power.
and-
Yeah.
if they go to Bill and say we're taking away your GM power, he's going to go, cool, you're
I'm out.
firing me. I'm out. Like, and that is firing them. That's Bill. I think this is Bill's last year at the Patriots. If he goes somewhere else, is a different question. That is the big question: is does he move elsewhere? Because here's the thing: that Saints offense is awful. That Saints offense is not good, and they just did this.
Carr's
They're
not fully
more
healed,
than-
and
Yeah,
putting
Carr
up very
only had 183 yards passing on the day.
Yeah. That offense isn't good, and they did this. This is bad. And if I'm Robert Kraft, who again, Robert Kraft demands excellence, this is not good. This is, Bill, you might want to dust up that resume, dude. Don't get me wrong. I think he'll get a job. Like I think there will be a team that takes him, but
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't
look,
know because the Patriot way hasn't worked in any place else. Speaking from
Yeah.
experience,
yeah, about to say you can vouch. Look, I think like Robert Kraft's about to have a conversation that I don't think we thought
he ever
he'd
imagined.
ever have,
Yeah.
which is like, do we need to move on from Bill Belichick? And look, Pittsburgh, we're about to have we might be having the same conversation regarding our head coach. But that's not tough for the other day. But like, point is, like, sometimes the game just passes by coaches, and we might be seeing the game pass with Belichick by.
Well, Belichick's never been able to develop playmakers. He's
No.
got lucky with Gronk and Tom Brady. This just shows how great he really was when he was able to make things work with his wide receivers that he had. It's just there's no one on the offense who could do anything.
But I also think one of the biggest, like, the reasons why why I think Bill the GM has to go. You're realistically, Patriots are getting a top 5 pick. Do you trust Bill to not fuck that up? I don't right now. Like honestly, I wouldn't right now.
They have their choice of a new quarterback, and you want Bill to try to develop him.
Yeah, you're gonna even if like you're gonna you're gonna get a new quarterback. Or if they go get a vet, like even if they go get a vet, that top 5 pick, do you trust it to be anything that will actually end up good? Like,
yeah, that's the thing. Like, we know Bill Belichick can coach. We know he can fucking coach. As a GM and accumulator of talent, he's never been great. Like, I think I read this today. Like, but from when he took over as GM to 2013. He had, I think, like 9 players that he drafted at Patriots be all pros. Since 2013, he's had 2 players he's drafted become all pros. They were a punter and a punt returner.
Well, the last offensive player that was drafted for the Patriots that made the Pro Bowl was Gronk. Like, that's
over 10 years ago.
Well, like Julian Edelman, but he was a quarterback when they drafted
and he wasn't
him.
drafted. That's the thing. He wasn't drafted.
But like that's where we're at with this, and it's just, I mean, don't get me wrong. And what's the craziest part about all of this is we are 5 years removed from Bill's last Super Bowl that Bill won. That one wasn't won. Tom Brady didn't win that Super Bowl.
You're right.
Bill Belichick won that Super Bowl.
I don't argue Tom Brady didn't win the Super Bowl. That's not a conversation we're having today.
That defense stopped the highest flying offense in the league that year. So I like the fact that we are at this point. I think it is either the Patriots need to have that conversation of you are no longer the GM. We are going out and hiring a GM. And I don't think that's going to work for Bill. And I think he's going to go, fine, I'm moving. Now, if another team, if he is willing to be a coach at another team, that's interesting. Like, as in, I will just be coach and not GM.
That being said, though, I'm not sure if the Bill Belichick way would work for the modern NFL.
There's certain teams I think it would.
Yeah, I'm just not sure like how well he would work with like a younger because like say he goes to Cincinnati. I'm not sure how he'd work with a young roster like that. Like Bill's old school. Bill is old school.
But here's the thing: like he would. I think Cincinnati would be a good team for him because he would build the defense and he doesn't have to worry about the offense because Joe runs that offense. Like he can run that offense. He has developed well enough to be able to do that. I think Chargers would be a good spot for him. I think the Chargers are a really good spot for him, even though I want Ben Johnson to go to the Chargers because I think Justin Herbert needs an offensive coach, but Bill would be good in that team. Like I think somewhere that already has an established guy as at quarterback, I think would be a really good place for Bill to go because he can then go and build up a team and build up a defense that because Bill knows how to build a defense. This Patriots defense before the 3 injuries was scary. They're like, you know, they stopped the Dolphins. They stopped the Eagles week 1. Like they were a scary defense, but offensively they're horrific.
Yeah. But you know, Patriots fans, Patriots. I'm just gonna say it. Patriots fans, we will not feel bad for you.
No,
we won't.
No,
we won't. You lorded over so many teams for decades, and now you get to feel you get to feel what it's like to be on the other side. So have fun, embrace it.
20 years of dominance.
No one will mourn you. Up next, we have a game that I always forget like one game when I put up our whole like stonks not stonks prediction slate, and this was the one I forgot this week. Doesn't matter. I know what we all would have said. Miami versus the New York Football Giants. Yeah. In no world, in no dimension, in no way, shape, or form did any of us ever believe the Giants could actually go into Hard Rock and pull this off.
No, and even me as someone who is Dolphins, they're not that good. No, the Giants weren't the ones pulling this off. I went on a tangent in our group chat about this earlier today. The Dolphins, I can't wait not till next week because next week they play the Panthers and they're going to murder them. In 2 weeks when they get it, in 2 weeks they're going to get exposed really badly against the Eagles. Like the Eagles are going to really expose this Dolphins team and just how Tua is good. He is not a bad quarterback.
The offense is not the problem with Miami. It's the defense.
No, it's the defense. But the problem is Bill showed how to stop the Miami Dolphins, and better defenses are going to do it. Patriots slowed them down. If their offense was better, they would have won that game. They just happened to play 3 of the worst defenses in football, and they're the 3 games that they've looked incredible in. Realistically, in 2 weeks, that's what I think. Giants. Oh my God, you're a train wreck.
Stop giving them primetime games. Just pull them all.
We'll talk about that later. But yeah, Giants. Remember when you had hope last year? Remember when you thought, oh, you know what? Giving Daniel Jones $40 million is a good idea.
I want to see the Giants fan who thought like, I do not any Giants. I want to see the Giants fan who actually thought giving Daniel Jones a contract was a smart idea because I've yet to meet one.
I can find them. Like I have friends who are like my friend's a diehard Giants fan. And he believed in Daniel Jones. And I was like, bruh, trust. Daniel Jones is not the guy. And he's not funny, and he's not the guy.
Like, honestly, $20 million to Saquon for 3 years or whatever. Like, the Jonathan Taylor contract to Saquon and franchise tagging Daniel Jones saves this franchise. This franchise is in trouble.
They cut the red wire and not the blue wire.
Yeah.
But look, speaking of Giants fans, and look, this is old news by now. We do have to address it. Not Andrew Thomas. Sorry, the bad offensive tackle with the Giants, Evan Neal,
deserved to be cut.
He had some words for the Giants fans who were booing the team, rightfully so. He was like egging them on. He's like, boo louder. And hold on. I don't want to misquote him, so I'm gonna pull up exactly what he said. Let's see, Evan Neal. Let's see. Okay, here we go. He said, "The people booing us. I'm sorry. Why would a lion concern himself with the opinions of sheep?" But first of all, we now know that Evan Neal watches Game of Thrones. That's first of all. Couldn't come with his own original quote. He had to rip off Game of Thrones. Secondly, he's like, people booing me. What do they do for a living? Flip hot dogs and hamburgers. I'm just like, okay, look. Even if the fans are booing you, which they're rightfully to do, even if you want to go after the fans, this is not the way.
No.
This is not the way. You do not insult your own fans.
Yeah, never.
And that's
Never.
like, and the thing, what that quote reeks of is entitlement and and you do not understand the massive privilege you have of doing this. And I get it, you're a dumb kid, but like, dude, you are so lucky to be where you are. And it's not even from like you just need to understand that the comment, the why would a lion concern with sheep quote, that's nothing, that's fine, whatever. Like,
sorry, real quick. I'm looking at the live chat right now. Mike, you're in timeout.
Oh God. But like the what I don't understand, like what the one that to me is, if I'm Dable, I go, I'm cutting you for this week or for 2 weeks. You are in timeout for 2 weeks. Is the flipping hamburgers quote? That's so disrespectful and so just, dude.
Because it's just like it's like it's saying like, oh, like I'm above you.
Yeah.
But like and then just like if you're a fan, I don't give a fuck what you do. I'm gonna fuck who you are. I'm above you. Like it's not just like. It's not people who work in like service industries, which there's no shame in that. Not people who work in service industries who watch like doctors, lawyers. My best friends, who is a software engineer, diehard Giants fan. Like you're gonna like disregard him because you're playing like shit. And you're gonna call him a hamburger. Like, well, fuck off, Evan Neal.
Yeah, it's not. That's really just shit. And yeah, if I get he came out and apologized for it, but it's still dude. You got to be better than that. And
he's 23 in the largest media, largest media in the world, and he fumbled the bag so hard, which is also shocking to me that, during the whole process of getting drafted and getting into the professionals, that there's no one who's going to teach these players, hey, here's how you handle certain situations. Don't badmouth the fans. Don't say this, don't say that. It's like you said, it's just ignorance on his part, thinking like, I could say this and I'm going to be okay.
Yeah. Like, look, dumb kid. I get it. You're dumb.
Yeah,
kid.
We were all 23.
Yeah, but still, dude, you got to be better than that. And yeah. Anyway, this game was shit. So
moving on to our.
Okay, can we bring him back in? Yeah. Okay.
That's your first offense. Moving on to our game of the week. This is game of the week purely because I heard no objections. If you had the chance to object, you did not take it. It is.
Look,
Baltimore.
I'm not gonna lie. This
Pittsburgh.
probably was just because out of all the other ones were pretty shit. So
yeah,
see, this was game of the week for me because I actually messed around and attended this game. It was my birthday on Sunday. I wanted to, like Sunday. I wanted to see my team play. But they had a home game, so I actually did go to Pittsburgh to watch this game, the very first NFL game I ever attended.
Oh wow!
And, yeah, that was my very
an NFL game.
You did
By 5 years. Jesus,
you did. Yeah, this is the very first NFL game I ever got to be at, and holy crap! Like the atmosphere in Heinz Field, because no one calls it Acrisure, in Heinz Field is fucking electric. Like it was again. Like it was. I watched live football before. I've been to playing baseball games. I've been to a couple of basketball games. There's nothing like live football.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to experience heart attacks in real time. Mike, I don't care what's written. I erase that. Whatever's on your board, erase it. I know it's gonna be something snarky, something stupid, and I will not stand for it. Erase it, or else you're going back inside mode.
Come on, what is it? Come on.
So, did you join in on the Fire Canada chants?
I did join the Fire Canada chant because I do think he deserves to be fired. But I will say, look, the Steelers' offense god awful for 75% of the game. I will admit, god awful for 75% of the game.
55 minutes of the game, the Steelers' offense was horrific.
No, not 55. I was there. It was not 55. It was like 46. I'll be generous. 46.
When they stopped listening to Canada, that's when they started playing good.
Yeah, that's the thing. Well, first of all, we weren't helped out. First of all, defense, phenomenal job on defense. Granted, we were helped out with one very crucial thing.
Pocket, fires downfield. Jackson, fire, tosses, drop. Jackson looking. Jackson. Nope. Soft toss, incomplete. Jackson on the move. Jackson will throw a deep ball. Stumbling down is a fly.
Yeah, the Ravens receivers core decided to double back case the dropsies. And that's not even the best. I saved the best one for last because it's a clip I have been waiting to use.
Jackson from the gun. Floats it up. Joined by Aguilar.
We was catching him, unlike Aguilar and his mishaps. I like to put that out there.
I've been waiting for a year to use that. And I'm so happy. But yeah, look. Were we helped out by the drops? Absolutely. But what did we do? We capitalized. And that's what matters.
So this week was bad for me. This week was a really, really, really bad week for me because one, fuck the Steelers, and two,
what did we do to you? I don't care the downfall of your team.
You actually didn't.
You?
I mean, okay, you hired a sexual predator for 15 years, so that doesn't help. Anyway, but more so, what really pissed me off about this game is I have been on the Micah Parsons train all for the last 2 years. God fucking, I was so mad that it was TJ Watt. When it had like that fucking fumble, I was like, are you kidding me? And it was like, and it's TJ Watt. I was like, fuck off. Oh,
Stonks,
and then
you mean Stonks Player of the Week, TJ Watt.
He was incredible. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to hate myself for saying this. If the Steelers have a 12-win season, which I don't think they will, but let's say if
Shut up, Mike.
TJ Watt gets MVP.
Okay, I'll allow that one.
If the Steelers have the season I thought the Cowboys fucking would, TJ Watt will get MVP.
I mean, that's a far cry, but I would love.
I know it is. No, I know it is because your offense is horrific.
It is.
Your offense.
But
oh
look,
my god, it's bad.
Offense is god awful. But this does play on maybe my favorite thing about Kenny Pickett. Because I still do believe in Kenny Pickett as in general. But my favorite thing about Pickett. Okay, that's it. Time out again. Look, the thing I like most about Pickett, the dude is clutch. The dude is incredibly clutch. Like with the game on the line, when you need a drive, 9 out of 10 times he can pull it off, and he did that. He audibled out of it was probably a very bad play. It was just funny because like on the CBS broadcast, they showed the coach's box, and Matt Canada, like everyone else is super happy, and Matt Canada's looking so bored.
Oh, he was
He
so
is
pissed. I loved it.
furious, and it's like at that point, when that type of play comes off, Matt, that footage there is okay. We might need to fire him because he couldn't.
They won't, but they do.
They won't.
Like I know. Bring Mike back.
No, he's in timeout. And he comes back when I say he comes back.
In all seriousness, they're a good. Look, that defense is seriously scary.
Yeah,
it's impressive. TJ Watt is playing out of his mind, but I also do agree. The Ravens threw that game away. They absolutely threw.
They had chances. They had chances.
Catching three of the 8 drops, and they win that game. Catching 2 of them, and they win that game. Like
catching one of them might win you the game.
Yeah, honestly, that is really, really, really bad for the Ravens, and it's one of those. Okay, you actually need to address this quick because their offense hasn't looked much better than it did last year. Lamar is playing incredibly. The fumble is what it is. It was one of those, a brilliant play by TJ, but also you're in desperation mode at that point. And you don't trust your receivers because they've given you no reason to trust them all game, I mean. So, I get it, but...
I mean, it is kind of hard when when this happened.
College, come here. And that was not really his fault.
Well, punch the shit out of Zay Flowers.
Yeah, TJ Watt's going to get Defensive Player of the Year. His biggest competition isn't it isn't Parsons. It's Garrett. Garrett's making a real good argument.
He is. But if only there was somebody who could have told you this was going to happen. Oh, wait a minute. I did. Weeks ago.
To be fair, I did call TJ Watt as Defensive Player of the Year.
Oh, did you?
I did.
Let's go somebody else.
TJ Watt as Defensive Player of the Year.
Point is, I got to be there for see TJ Watt get 2 sacks and see the very first career reception of Joey Porter Jr. Long may he reign. Thank you, Russell, for coming to me. And once again, go Steelers. All right, moving on to our next game. Going to the other side of the states, although they did play in Los Angeles. The Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Los Angeles Rams. This game marks the first game that Cooper Kupp was back, and he was back with a vengeance. He played pretty well. Hurt the stock of Puka Nacua, kind of, but he did play fairly well.
Puka got a touchdown though.
Yeah, Puka played pretty well as well. I think that's a pretty good tandem right now. That's a pretty scary tandem.
Yeah.
If only the Rams had an O-line, that they would be a very scary team right now.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem. That's the biggest problem with Los Angeles. Second problem is they go into a weird soft shell in the second half. They are not a second half team at all.
No. I watched the game. It was a great first half, and then the second half, it just wheels fell off. I was like, okay, I'm done.
The first half of this game was setting up a game of the week of this is the best game we're watching. This is the one, and then okay, apparently not. No, we're just shit. Okay, it was. Yeah, I was. And I was hoping the Eagles would win, would lose, but that was not great. Rams threw that game away in the fourth quarter. They were bad in the fourth quarter. They were really bad, actually.
Now, TJ Watt may be my Stonks player of the week, but my Stonks adjacent because he was very close to me. No, sorry, not that one. Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts he's heating up. He's heating up at the exact right time.
No, he is. He's making an argument for MVP. I think he's second right now, personally. We'll get to my first. And I think he's second right now. He's making a genuine bona fide argument. Week 13, man. Week 13's setting up like everything's leading to week 13, and it's gonna be a big weekend.
Mike, why do you keep doing this?
Mike's going back to timeout.
I'm gonna let that one slide because I do love me some Jalen Hurts. But I'm watching you. But yeah, no, look, I mean, Stafford looks good. My worry with the Rams at this point are second half, not great. I'm worried about them going back into the same trap they fell into last year, where like it's the Cooper Cup show, and you stop Cooper Cup, you can stop that team.
I'm hoping
Nakua helps.
I think he might be helping, because in the second half they did kind of start to shut down Cup, and he was able to get the ball moving still. So I do think he is helping, but I also don't completely disagree. Like, he is very reliant on Cup.
He is,
Well,
and that was a big problem last year.
Well, that's always been Stafford's thing. He's always had a go-to wide receiver. I mean, back when I used to see him play for a field, it was always Calvin Johnson. And then for a while, it was Kenny Galladay. He got Kenny Galladay paid by the Giants. Thank you. We didn't have to pay him. Stafford always loves his big target, but I think Puka is going to help out in the long run. Like, we're seeing the birth of a dangerous wide receiver tandem. They just need to get an offensive line so Stafford has a chance to throw, and then they can run when they get a lead.
Yeah, and then they got their first rounder this year, so maybe they can use that to address it. But yeah. Either way, Eagles heating up at the right point. The passing game is getting in rhythm, which is great. Both AJ Brown and Goddard had over 100 yards on the day. Jalen Hurts responsible for nearly 400 yards of offense by himself between his arm and his legs.
Really good.
Right for him.
Yeah, I think this is a good test. This weekend's going to be a good test for the Eagles' offense. I think it's going to be a really good test for that. But we'll talk about that game in a minute.
All right. Moving on to the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Arizona Cardinals. I think that first of all, we know Jamar Chase, like waffle. I know you said 7-Eleven. No, to me, your Waffle House always open. Prove that maybe that's not entirely incorrect. Dude had a monster game on the day.
Well, I think the absence of Higgins contributed to that. Like, he got so much more target share because Higgins was not there. Burrow was like, all right, it's the Chase show. And boy, was it the Chase show. Like, he's definitely in the conversation for Stocks Player of the Week.
Yeah. Look, no shade to the Cardinals, but this was the Cardinals team we thought would turn up this season.
Yeah.
And,
the Cinderella story might be ending pretty soon.
Yeah.
Conner is rough.
Oh.
Yeah, losing James Conner, that's a rough injury. That's a really rough one to take. But yeah, I think this game, look, I not 100% on board with Cincinnati. I still think that let's see how they go over the next 3 weeks are huge for the Bengals. I mean, they have the bye they've got Seahawks this week, the bye, 49ers, Bills. If they can walk away with 2 of them, they're a real shot to win the division.
Yeah, but that's a big goddamn if, though.
I know, and that's the thing. The Seahawks game is the one that I'm going to start. If they win the Seahawks game, I'll go, okay, I'm starting to believe back in the Bengals that they can make the playoffs. If they lose the Seahawks game, I'm going to be, okay, yeah, no, they played the Cardinals, and that's what happened.
Yeah. Either way, yeah. Joe Burrow looked better. I think he said he was feeling better than he had in the past weeks. He looked better on today.
Yeah. The irony with the Steelers winning their game, they brought Bengals back into it. They've brought Bengals back into this division, because if the Ravens win that game last weekend, I think that's it. Bengals can't win the division. Right now, that division's open for anyone. The AFC North. Anyone can win the AFC North right now.
We all know who's gonna win.
Sure,
Moving on.
but
I didn't like that sound. Jacob, you're on timeout. But yeah, moving on to I put you in timeout too, Mike. But I need you for this next game. I need you
to talk about this game.
That's not your first official timeout, but you watch it. You watch it.
I didn't even say anything that bad about the Steelers. I just said, hey, the Bengals could win their division.
And that's enough. No, I'm kidding. I'll play. All right, moving on. Mike, here, boys. New York Jets taking on the Denver Broncos. This is a hyped up game. Look, this had to have like a WWE match. You had Sean Payton cutting promos. You had Robert Saleh answering back and firing back at Sean Payton.
Can I say, there were 4 games on at the same time. The Eagles were playing the Rams in what was looking like it could have been game of the week. The Bengals were playing Arizona, which was like, hey, cool, I get to see Joe Burrow high-flying offense. The other one we're about to talk to, which is the Taylor Swift non-turn-up game.
That's another timeout offense. Do not mention that name.
But the game I watched this one. I was like, I have to.
This game was must-watch TV.
This was must-see television, even though everyone knew it was going to be awful. Absolutely awful.
This game was bad football, like on both sides of the ball. It's just one team was worse, and that's literally the reason. Like the Jets, yes, they won this game. They won this game on a 72-yard rushing touchdown and 5 field goals and a scoop and score and a safety. Like, what did I just say there? Five field goals, a scoop and score, fumble recovery, a safety, and a 72-yard rush. That accounts for the 31 points. It's insane.
This is the way Jets need to win games. Granted, it's a very hard way to win games. But what you have, look, remember last week when Zach Wilson looked like, okay, maybe he has him with Zach Wilson. Nope. Zach Wilson is who we thought he was.
So I've been shocked at how many people have been saying, oh, Zach Wilson played well. No, he didn't. He played awful. He looked bad. Like, he looked really bad. I don't know what game you guys were watching, but Zach Wilson was bad. Like, he looked awful. But the biggest takeaway from this game, okay, for a coach that got suspended for a year because of Bountygate, had the most infamous PI call ever against him in one of the most heartbreaking playoff losses ever. Just had 70 points put on him. This is the lowest point in his career. This loss here has to be the lowest.
Given the fact that he called out a coach on the other team by name, by the way.
Yeah, it's not. This was the most self-owned goal I have ever seen in the NFL. Yeah. This was embarrassing on every level, and the thing that I think is the most, there's something there. The entire Jets organization stood up for Nathaniel Hackett. They wanted to win this for him.
Nathaniel Hackett was an honorary captain for this game.
No, but not one Bronco did. You saw that all the Broncos there, knowing full well what this game meant, didn't give a shit. They just went, cool, we don't care. We don't care for our coach. They don't like Peyton. There is more to this. I don't think the Broncos are in for a rough couple of years. Like, we're talking about Panthers in a full-blown rebuild. The Broncos don't realize how bad of a rebuild they're about to be. This is franchise destroying. The Waltons, congratulations. You may have just bought the worst franchise in football.
Yeah, look, Russell Wilson, he's been playing well for the past couple of weeks. Played badly today. Played badly in this game.
Oh, totally.
He wasn't.
And the other thing, they established early in the game, the Broncos got their run game going early and abandoned it. Like, why did they
for no reason?
McLaughlin looked good.
McLaughlin was carrying the ball well. He had 2-4 carries in the second half.
Yeah, it was terrible. Terrible game calling.
I'm starting to
Yeah,
get to a point where I actually think Peyton is tanking for Caleb. He's like, I ain't dealing with Williams. I'm going after Caleb Williams. That's
yeah.
I really think it's the only thing that explains just how bad of a coach he has been for the last couple of weeks. This has been disastrous.
Yeah.
Like, you know how earlier I mentioned, like, the Texans Falcons games, like, it was a good game. Both teams, nobody lost. This one, everybody lost. Everyone who played, everyone who paid American money to go see that game, it was just a bad game all around.
Except for
Yeah.
national hero Nathaniel Hackett, apparently.
Right? Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
that's I didn't
the
say
Lord
this.
Saber Hackett.
I wasn't on last week to say this. Can we all just agree Nathaniel Hackett's not a good play caller? Like Nathaniel Hackett is not a
Oh,
good coach.
we knew that. We
No,
knew
I
that.
know that.
Aaron
No,
Rodgers,
I know that. But
Aaron
like,
Rodgers is the only thing that makes him good and makes him viable.
yeah, like we now it wasn't just it was Russell Wilson. No, you're not good at your job. Like,
No,
really,
because people forget, because like Green Bay's offense is so good under Nathaniel Hackett with Rodgers. He was an awful play caller in Jacksonville.
yeah, like he's not good, and this it's mind blowing. That's okay. I actually want to ask you, Mike, how nervous were you when he threw the pick?
I was not as nervous as I've been in the past. I was like, oh crap, not this again. But
Yeah,
having watched that whole game, it was like, all right, I think the defense can step up. If you did watch the game, the guy who made the play was Quincy Williams. Quincy Williams played phenomenal. Like, if you want to give somebody
he was lights out.
game, Quincy Williams, very, very quietly, he's playing almost at an all-pro level this year. He's one of the few players on the Jets who's doing this. Him and his brother, the two of them, it's Quincy and Quinnen, are both.
Are they brothers?
Completely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh no,
They're
shit, I
brothers.
know that.
this is the other, and this one's a bit more This is a bit more heartbreaking. You know what really sucks about watching this Jets team this year?
Knowing how good they would have been with Aaron Rodgers.
They had Rodgers. They're 4-1.
Yeah.
They are 4-1. They are. If they have Rodgers, holy crap! That defense is that
the
good.
loss.
The loss, I think, is either. I
Still
think
Dallas.
they either lose to the Cowboys week 1, or they lose last week to the Chiefs. Like the Chiefs.
I can't give them Cowboys just because Aaron Rodgers, like, who owns that.
Yeah,
team.
no, the only reason I said or they lose to the Chiefs because the Chiefs don't take them lightly like they did last week. Like, I think that's like I don't think they're 5-0. I just don't. Like,
That's fair.
Yeah,
I'm just curious who the loss was.
Yeah, but oh my god, that's the heartbreaking part of watching this is just like, god damn, they were good. Like, that defense.
This defense is. I don't know if I'm going to go as far as saying top 5, but they're close. They're like top 7.
Oh yeah.
Okay, absolutely.
Oh,
No,
yeah, absolutely.
they're and the hard part is you can tell they're getting demoralized, which is going to start making their numbers look worse, especially when later in the season that they start playing tougher teams. But like, we were saying at the start of the year, the Jets have a really tough schedule at the start, but the back end is the easy one. Like, they would have been 4-2 going into the bye or going into this Eagles game, sorry. And we're like, oh damn, the Jets are legit. They would have won that. They could win their division.
This game did come at a cost, though.
Humongous cost. The one offensive lineman I trust.
As bad as the O line has been for the Jets, they just got light years worse. AVT, their best offensive lineman, is now torn Achilles, out for the year.
So basically, if the Jets win, they lose a player to a torn Achilles, is what it is. And,
that's the price of victory.
And this is the second year in a row that he got hurt in Denver. Like, if they are playing a game in Denver, just don't even bring him. He's not coming.
Just sacrifice the L. Just sacrifice the game. It's like, whatever. Yeah. We can't lose him for the
forfeit. Yeah. All right, moving on to our next. Speaking of the Chiefs, let's talk about the Chiefs. Look, a lot of people throw out how the league favors the Chiefs. This game doesn't do a lot to dispute that.
Oh no.
because
No.
I think maybe the most heinous ref ball of the entire week happens in this game. Because look, none of us expected the Vikings to win this game. I can be clear. All of us thought the Vikings were out of their depth. They didn't play that badly, and this goes to the question: like, had the Chiefs lost a step because their offense is not humming, and I do believe Matt Nagy is a big part of that.
Matt Nagy is their offensive coordinator. Like, it is huge. That is a big deal. He is not good, and it's holding this team back. You can tell they still don't know, and like they got away with it last year, I think, because they had an offensive coordinator who could do it, who could scheme towards it. They need a weapon. Holy crap. And that's not Travis Kelce.
Yeah, they need someone who's not Travis Kelce to step
They need
up.
receivers. They need receivers desperately.
Yeah.
Here's
like
the
whole-
question. Like
Good.
right now, the Jets pretty much have said Mecole Hardman is available. If you're the Chiefs, you throw them the 6th round pick, whatever they want for it. Yeah, because he knows that he
knows it.
Yeah, you do it.
Like that's if I'm the Chiefs, that's what I'm doing. Like I'm going after whoever the team just like because there's going to be some teams that end up putting players up. Although this weekend,
Broncos get Sutton, get Judy.
Hey, Judy's going to be available. Jerry Judy, like Jerry Judy is going to be available at some point in the next 2 weeks, and if I'm the Chiefs, that's the first phone call. And if I am literally anyone else in the AFC, I'm going, what are the Chiefs offering you? We'll offer you the same, but it will be higher because I do not want the Chiefs with that. Like if you're in the AFC and you are you offer it because, and you're a Super Bowl caliber team, offer whatever they match it. You have to, because if Patrick Mahomes gets a deep threat, this team is scary. This team will be scary. At some point, they are going to figure it out, and and that defense is good. That defense is very good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's top 5 like I thought it was, but it is. Still
I don't even think they have a top 10. If I'm being completely honest.
I think they're very comparable to the Falcons that we've been talking about. They're a bend, don't break defense. And in terms of their quality, they're very much on par defensively with the Falcons, what they have at home. So obviously they're going to win more games.
In regards to the PI, I don't think it was a defensive PI.
Yeah.
I think it's a 50-50 call, and I understand them picking it up. The taking the helmet off, there's no justification for that.
That's the thing where like he took his helmet off, talked to the ref. That normally gets flagged. Shit, TJ Watt got flagged for that earlier that day, and L'Jarius Sneed got a fucking warning. That's ridiculous.
That to me is, if I'm the NFL, now you guys are sitting down this week. You're not reffing this week. That to me is
egregious.
You can't. There is no there is nothing. Now, yes, it wouldn't have given the Vikings the ball. It would have been 15 yards back from, because it was a 4th down play. Like it would. I understand all of that. Like it ultimately probably doesn't have an impact on the game, more than likely.
Right.
But you still need to make that call. That is an unforgivable no call. You have to make that call. So yeah,
even then, like the game was over in Pittsburgh, but they still did the flag on TJ Watt.
Yeah, like it's just that. Yeah, no. And so that's a really bad look for the NFL. That's something that they need to go, hey, we don't care. You have to call that. But again, that's the Chiefs. Like they're gonna get the calls. It is right now.
On the other side, though, the Viking struggles are well noted. First of all, they can't hold on to the ball to their fucking lives. They lead the league in fumbles lost.
Yep.
Secondly, Vikings, things are about to get light years worse. Justin Jefferson is now on IR.
Yeah. Tank Bowl starts right now. Tanking.
Yeah, 100%.
And this isn't tanking for a quarterback or anything. They should be tanking for a quarterback, but this is the go get draft capital any player that is a free agent at the end of this year,
Get rid of them.
Trade
Get
them.
rid-
Get
Yep.
something for them because
Get
this
all
Get
season's
a
their
top 3
tackle.
pick, trade down.
like you are not getting. So, Kirk, if you are going to sign Kirk Cousins, you need
They're
to
not.
do it now.
They're
Or
not.
if you do not believe you're going to, trade him to a team because you will get a first for him right now. There are teams desperate enough for a quarterback that they will give a first. The Patriots, I think right now, Bill Belichick would give a first. I really do believe that. I think you could get a top 10 first right now for Kirk Cousins.
The Patriots and the Falcons are the two teams 100% that Minnesota should have on speed dial right now.
Now, obviously, Cousins has a say, and if he says no, well, you're screwed either way. But
at least you got to try.
He has the no trade clause. But I work with him and say, hey, look, we're going to try and trade you because you're gone by the end of the year, and we want to try and work this out so that we all work together because otherwise the Vikings are screwed. They're going to lose him anyway.
Yeah.
Like, they've not handled this well at all because they don't have – who's their quarterback next year?
Not on the roster.
He's not there yet.
He's in college.
So, Vikings are in trouble. And when I say that the North is the worst division in football, this is what I'm meaning.
Okay.
Oh, it's not even
This
close.
North – I wasn't – I was being intentionally –
okay, I got you.
The NFC North is the worst division.
You get one free timeout pass.
The NFC North is the worst division in football outside of the Lions. The Lions are owning that division this year. They are going to be
Lions
one
are
of
a
the best
13-win
teams.
team right now.
Right now, right? Okay, right now, the second seed's looking very nice for whoever because they're not going because whoever gets the second seed ain't going to have to play both Eagles and Cowboys. They are only going to have to play one of them.
Well, let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys real quick.
How about them Cowboys?
Moving on to the Sunday night slate. Look, this is we came in to watch. We wanted to watch this matchup because, look, we want to see if Dallas gets what Dallas does when they get tested by let's be honest here, a real team. And look, we already knew they had a red zone problem. They could not put the ball in the end zone when they were in the red zone. And look, it was not present here because they couldn't even get in the red zone in this game. Literally, no trips.
Wrong game.
There
it is.
No trips to the red zone at all for Dallas this game. This was a horrid performance by Dallas, a so-called Super Bowl contender.
You just put up a score from two inferior teams who put up more points than Dallas.
That is true. Now, look, San Francisco has a very, very, very good defense, as I can vouch. Had a very good defense. That being said, when you have an offense that has a quarterback who you're paying $40 million, an all-pro receiver, a very good number 2 in Brandon Cooks, a good running back in Tony Pollard, and one of the best defensive lines in football, you need to do something. And they didn't.
I had 2 takes going into this season. I had 2 big hot takes. Cowboys would have a top 5 defense and would be the genuine bona fide Super Bowl contender for the NFC. I thought they were going to the Super Bowl. My other hot take was that San Francisco would live to regret the trade and because they were relying on Brock Purdy being Tom Brady. One game ruined both of those takes.
Yeah.
There is a genuine chance the Cowboys don't make the playoffs. Like, there is actually a genuine chance.
I'm not going to go that far, but
I don't know.
So
bad. Look, the NFC. Look, okay, they're not the guaranteed 5th seed that I thought they were.
No.
If they didn't win the division, they're guaranteed to get the 5th seed because whoever lost that division would get the 5th seed. They're not that anymore. And this game, okay, this game started the conversation. The next game will be the thing that makes it a big conversation.
Right.
Brock Purdy's an MVP
Oh yeah.
candidate right now. Brock Purdy is an MVP
Stock went
candidate.
up a lot this week.
Next week, if he does the same type of performance, as in 4 touchdowns, 250 yards against that Browns defense next week, Brock Purdy's an MVP. He will be the MVP front runner. Now, because the Cowboys shut down Christian McCaffrey and they still did this. Like Brock was able, some of the, oh my God, the 2 15-yard throw, like when they were like 3rd and 15 and it was, you had to have it.
Mhm.
And threw one of them and then there was a holding call. So he just does it again. And it was like, Christ, Brock. Brock looked good. Brock looked really good.
Again, I'm not ready to go like full MVP. He's playing well. I said in our group chat, I'll say it. He's Jimmy G with a deep ball. That's what he is.
He's better than Jimmy G.
Okay, he's Jimmy G with a deep ball. That's what he is.
He's Kirk Cousins in the Kyle Shanahan offense, which is why everyone was like, Kyle Shanahan's going to trade for Kirk Cousins because this is what it can do. That's what he needs to do. And Big Cock Brock has proven it. He's undefeated in 10 games. This is phenomenal what he's able to do. And yeah, he's not lighting up the score, like the stat lines, but he is winning and he's being consistent. And
it's not just that he's winning. It's how he's winning.
Right.
And he is miles better than Jimmy G because Jimmy G made mistakes. Every throw Jimmy G made, you were going, please, for the love of God, don't be an interception. Please, for the love of, you were nervous. Brock's not that. You watch some of those throws, you go, yeah, this is going to go somewhere. Now, yes, do I think Brock could lead a bad football team? No, I don't. I think he would look as bad as Jimmy G does right now on the Raiders. But I also think I think we could be looking at a 0-2 Brady type run.
Now, Jacob, I did have a question for you real quick. You're big on you're big on your boy Micah Parsons. How many sacks did Micah Parsons have in this game?
Yeah, dude, I'm off the Micah Parsons train
No,
now.
just answer the question. Answer the question.
None.
And how many sacks did T.J. Watt have against the 49ers?
2.
3, actually, but close enough.
No.
Yeah,
dude.
There ain't no debate. T.J. Watt's better than Micah Parsons.
Right now, absolutely. 1,000% agree. Okay, so we were laughing at what and Jeremy, what the Giants player said was worse. Micah Parsons might have the single dumbest quote of the week.
Crap, yeah. What did he say? I didn't get the full quote.
I'm trying to find the actual quote. Hang on. But 49ers quote. Hang on. So the more personal. Jeez. So one, he said they've now made it personal, which okay.
How is it not personal already?
Yeah,
Right.
I don't understand that one.
Was it not personal
playing
before?
The one that I think is the dumbest quote of the week is, I don't think the 49ers are at a higher level than us. I think we're the same caliber playoff team, same talent, same standards. I just feel like we need to reconsider and fix some things. The score doesn't really show what happened out there. No, it doesn't.
No,
you know what?
The score shows exactly what happened out there.
No. The score doesn't show what happened out there. The score should have been 60. They benched Purdy in the 4th quarter. This score should have been worse. This was an unmitigated disaster for the Cowboys. And no matter what, the Cowboys could go undefeated for the rest of the season. The Cowboys could look like world beaters for the rest of the season. This is over their head. The 49ers are going to be over their head for the rest of the season. The only way to get rid of it, you got to beat them in the playoffs. That's it.
Debo's retort was like, if you thought this was bad, wait till next time.
I genuinely hope these two teams meet again in the playoffs. I don't feel like it'll be this lopsided, but I do think the Niners will crush them fairly easily.
Yeah. Can we What's their loss? What's like
They'll-
all
they'll-
in
they'll
all
fall- they'll
seriousness?
fall on a
What
trap
is
game
their
somewhere.
loss?
They'll fall on a track game somewhere. They'll because this always happens. They'll so the team will be undefeated for a while, and then they'll lose a game that they have no business losing.
There's two. There's three that I have. I think the Seahawks game is a
They
big
could lose
one.
one to the Seahawks.
I think they can split the Seahawks. Week 13 is huge. Oh my god, week 13 against the Eagles.
You know what? I will call my shot.
Yeah.
I'll say Jacksonville.
Really? What week's that?
So let's see. I think. Hold on. Wait. So let's see. So 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay.
9 or 10. I'm not sure when their bye is.
Ooh, coming off a bye.
I mean, still, I think that like you don't keep this up unless you're like a transcendent team. And I think that a trap games are every team's falling victim to a trap game. Every single team does. So I think they're going to lose a game that they have no business losing. And I think it's going to be Jacksonville.
There's that 3-week stretch where they go Seahawks, Eagles.
Bottom line, it better not be next week.
Oh my! If it's next week against the Browns, I swear to God.
I'm muting Matt Thomas if that happens.
But yeah, there's that 3-week stretch that I think is it's possible, and then the other one that is why did I reckon 49ers going, why do we have to play this goddamn fucking team? Week 17, they play the Commanders. Which
of course.
The world enders of streaks. Like the best team to possibly end streaks.
It doesn't matter what the streak is. If you're winless or on a winning streak, they will end your streak.
So it's funny you say that you bring them up. First off, Eric, I'm sure you remember who the Lions got their first win against. It was Washington. So after the winless season. But what I wanted to bring up, I lived just out of DC in Northern Virginia for a while, and a lot of times I was at work. I was slow. I would leave the sports talk radio on, and sports talk radio in DC when they're playing Dallas is the funniest thing in the world. If you can find a satellite feed or something of it, like listen to local Washington DC radio the week they play Dallas, because a lot of Dallas fans live in DC because they like it's the I have to be different. I have to root against the team everybody else does. So there was one guy who called in and he says, you know what Washington DC stands for? The Washington Dallas Cowboys, and that's who showed up this week.
So yeah.
Quality win for absolutely. Quality win for the 49ers. Thank you for crushing the hopes and dreams of Dallas yet again.
Always appreciated.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
Always watched out.
Moving on to our last game of the week, upset of the week. Packers versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, one of us on the show did proclaim that they didn't question. They said Jordan Love is it. I'm not going to name names. It was Jacob. They said Jordan Love was it. Jacob, do you care to rethink your statement?
I turned this game off because the Diamondbacks were winning against the Dodgers. I went, fuck this. I'm not watching this game. But going back and watching the highlights, which were not very many, and listening to Grossi have, I think, a external breakdown on the internet.
Porter's was better, but Grossi's was good too.
Which was rivaled only by Brandon's one for the Broncos.
The end of the fumble is the Porter's reaction to the fumble.
Yeah.
Sorry to derail. Porter's reaction to the fumble is the best thing on the
Oh my god.
Yeah. Jordan Love. Look, I'm not really willing to completely write him off, but but I'm taking back I'll pay him his money now. Because the Packers this year the only thing, they're kind of where the Bears were last year, which is you have questions. By the end of this season, you have to have the answers. And those questions are, is Jordan Love your franchise quarterback? Is Matt LaFleur your head coach? Because after this game, oof.
Ooh.
Yeah, horrendous coaching job on the part of LaFleur.
Is Gruden your general manager? That's a question as well, because look, there's definitely injuries. I look, the O-line's decimated. No Aaron Jones absolutely hurts this team.
Dylan was a bright spot for them last night. Like, that's one of the few things I will give AJ Dillon credit.
Yeah. And like, but just some really just bad play calling and bad decision making from everyone involved. And the worst part is the Raiders were trying to give you the game. I think
Devontae 4 times.
Yeah.
4 times.
Or going for a field goal when you had a minute left in the first half. That was
And a field goal that wouldn't even guarantee you the win. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't. It's just like
we saw 2 bad head coaches last night.
We did. And we saw, I think, for the first time, one owner going, I need to get rid of this guy. I think he is recognizing I need to bite the bullet, and this is going to cost me a lot of money, because he looked very depressed when he's realizing just how much money he is now going to have to spend to get rid of Josh McDaniels. The Raiders, the stupid part about this win, the Raiders winning this game has made them probably not be a seller before the trade deadline. They're probably going to think, we've got half a chance. So sorry, Devontae Adams, you're a Raider this year. I'm really
sorry, Devontae. But the fact that you want to go home and you want to go somewhere else, we ain't letting you.
Because Devontae Adams would have been he probably would have been the best wide receiver out there, and there would be teams that would have thrown 2 first rounders for him, and not be out of just pure desperation, because he's the only one out there, and they would have just gone, we need someone, we will throw the fucking kitchen sink at it.
Can you imagine if the Chiefs had made that trade? Like, if obviously it wouldn't happen in that division, but just hypothetically.
It would, but no, the Chiefs would be the one that I don't think could, just because of
it's the Raiders. Yeah, it's not happening.
Yeah, but not only that, I think salary cap. I think that's the other big reason why they wouldn't be able to afford him. But like a team like the Browns, I really do think Devontae Adams could end up on the Browns this year. I think they've got the salary cap.
Please.
They've got the cap space, and
I don't care how much it makes. No.
And especially after losing Chubb, they're going to have to rely on their air game, and they need another weapon for Watson. So I think that's I think that could happen. But this win, I think, has ruined that. I think Adams stays a Raider for the season, and he is, again, Jimmy G is terrible, and this team ends up with a 5-12 record, and which is somehow this season that a 5-12 is probably giving them the 12th pick. Like
exactly.
And
yeah.
At
the same time, though, the Packers look uncharacteristically bad, and look, there's going to be some drop off when you go from a first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback to a guy who's literally never been tested, a bit of a project. And look, there's some weeks where Jordan Love looked pretty good. Granted, almost against the Bears, so that almost doesn't count. But look, they start way too slow.
Oh yeah,
the offensive scheming is bad. The defensive scheming is even worse. There's one play where Joe Barry had Preston Smith covering Devontae Adams.
Yeah, that was.
I don't know in what world, in what reality, in what universe you think that's a good idea. But you should be fired for that alone.
Yep.
But yeah, things could get very ugly for Green Bay very fast. And look, they still have time to turn things around, especially because the NFC is pretty weak this year. Right. But yeah, this is not encouraging.
Nope, not at all.
the last thing I was going to say about this game is like you made Jacoby Myers. And this is not a slight against Jacoby Myers because I think he's a decent player, but he looked like a superstar last night. And
Oh yeah.
Did.
Jacoby Myers we're talking about, who is far and away their number 2. Last night looks like a world beater.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And oh my God, Crosby, Jesus, Crosby
God
won
bless.
the game. Oh
Yeah.
my God, like
Crosby needs to get traded.
yeah, Crosby needs to go to a real team, please. I'm begging you.
He needs to go somewhere
Cro-
else.
Crosby needs to go on a real team because that wherever he goes,
I'm
that
about to
team's
say Crosby
Oh
to
my
Detroit
God,
make a lot
he
of
went to
sense.
the Lions. Oh my God, Crosby and
We
Hutchinson
welcome him
together.
home.
Holy hell!
Yeah,
Good.
Crosby and Hutch on the same line. Holy fuck.
Oh fuck.
Good luck with that.
Kirk Cousins, you might kill Kirk Cousins if you did that.
More reasons for the Vikings to trade him.
Trade him now. Kill whoever's on the back burner. But yeah, that's gonna do it for our week 5 recap. And now look forward to the week that is coming. Our week 6 predictions and also stonks or not stonks. So on the bye this week we have the aforementioned Packers and the Pittsburgh Steelers, Pittsburgh Steelers are also stonks even on the bye. And I will turn over stonks duties this week to since he didn't win any games this week. Let's get the stonks duty to Jacob.
Fuck. All right.
Thursday night football. I will say it again. Amazon got hoed in this deal. The Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Denver Broncos.
Like seriously, how? Like, why? Why? Why are they doing this to us? I just don't know.
Al Michaels is gonna just like have a heart attack on stream.
How Michael's he just gonna quit? Just be like,
Yeah,
I'm done.
Al Michaels might die of boredom on screen.
Oh man.
So I mean,
all right.
look, does anybody want to hit the Broncos?
No.
The only
That's
thing,
what I
the only thing, my only thing is I would avoid betting because the Chiefs fucking suck at covering. They really do. They're terrific at covering. And
I mean,
can see this.
I put them on my parlay, but I did money line. So
Yeah, money. If you're gonna bet on this game,
Money
money
line,
line
yeah.
it. Like it's not gonna be worth it because it's the Chiefs.
unless you parlay with other stuff, which is what I did.
But I don't. Oh god, they're gonna be bad. All right. So because of that, let's go find a Let's go find a Chiefs player that. All right. MVS.
It's going to be. I think it's going to be. It's been proven against the Broncos. Run the ball. It's Pacheco is the stonks player of the week. I'm going to say the wide receivers are not stonks.
I don't trust you. I don't trust true wide receivers in terms of stonks. So I'm saying not stonks. Eric.
I mean, it's the Broncos. You can't go wrong from Mahomes for your stocks.
When it's MVS. It's MVS. He's the stonks. Question.
Well, I mean, you put like over 250 yards for Mahomes, and then like 50 yards rushing. Do the player prop bets for him.
All right.
All right. So not stonks for.
Not stonks for
MVS. All right. Moving on to our Sunday slates, we have the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Tennessee Titans.
I can sleep in.
Yeah, this game's going to be ugly. The question is going to be, okay, let's go. Does Flowers drop the ball this week?
For his sake, he better not.
Stonks or not stonks?
Zay Flowers?
Yeah.
I'm going to say stonks for Flowers just because I think he can put up some numbers. He's probably going to have a drop. But when it comes to the game itself, I hate the Titans for any pick'ems this year because you just don't know what team is going to show up.
Yeah.
And with the Ravens playing as inconsistent as they are, this is a tough game to pick. I am picking the Ravens, but it's going to be close.
Yeah. I'm not betting on this game at all this week.
No. Don't
Tennessee plays them weirdly tough. So I'm not going to be shocked if they win, but I'm still going. You know what? I need Tennessee to win. So Tennessee.
I'm going Ravens. I think it's going to be close. I think it is going to be an ugly game. Again, but the Ravens are doing the smart thing. They left tonight.
Yeah, they're already
Titans don't
going.
leave until Friday.
That was
So
smart.
yeah, Ravens are being intelligent, and so I think that Ravens win.
And as far as stonks for Zay Flowers, I'm not that impressed with the secondary for Tennessee. So I'm going to say stonks. All right, moving on to our Sunday slate. Moving on to our next game, we have the Commanders taking on the Atlanta Falcons.
Another game that's probably going to be ugly. I am going to lead with the Falcons. Pretty much all metrics say the Falcons win this game, unless Ritter just turns it over. Don't expect a lot of scoring in this one. I think it'll be a little bit of a defensive struggle. But if Bijan can get rolling, then maybe the Falcons can get a solid win. But I like the Falcons to win this pretty handily.
Hey, what you got?
Desmond Ritter at home.
They're bet against it apparently.
Unbeatable.
Unbeatable.
I'm gonna jump on that with you. Give me the Falcons. And if
It's
not for
Honda
that,
when you're drunk playing Street Fighter, you can't beat him.
All right, I'll go against the grain. I'm gonna say Washington. Yeah, I'm going to say Washington pull off the upset.
Here's the thing. Okay, look, I will say Washington will jump out to a lead, but then the hero will rise up. It'll become the Taylor Heineke revenge game, and the Falcons win.
Okay, so that brings in my stonks of the week. Does Ritter back up yet last week?
He doesn't match last week at all. I think it's not Ritter. It's Bijan is going to be the guy. So Ritter's not stonks, but it's not going to cost them.
Okay.
Yeah. I will say, because I'm not that impressed with the secondary of Washington, I actually will say stonks on Ritter.
Yeah, I'll go stonks on Ritter because, I mean, they made DJ Moore finally break out, so why not Kyle Pitts?
Oh my God, this is the Kyle Pitts game. This is the Kyle Pitts. Like I'm great game. It's gonna be awesome. All right, up next, battle of the NFC North. We got the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Chicago Bears. Now I will say, prior to I would have said Minnesota hands down prior to the Jefferson injury. With no Jefferson, this could be a lot closer than we think.
This was my eliminator pick.
Yeah, I'm going with the Bears.
I'm going Bears too.
Right
this was my eliminator pick for the week. I had Vikings, and now I am I don't know. I'm gonna say Vikings pull it off with no confidence whatsoever. So with that, okay, how does Addison actually do?
Against this Bears secondary, I think Addison has a nice game. I don't think it's at
least 100 yards
last week kind of game, but to say Addison gets like 7 for 70 and a touchdown, I think that's not out of the question.
Yeah, I think Addison. I'm not sure if he's a true 1A, but I think he's good enough to be stonks against this Bears defense. So I'll go stonks on Addison.
I do think it's not Addison who's going to be the one who gains the most. It's Hawkinson who's going to gain them because they're going to feed Hawkinson without Jefferson.
Fair.
All right. Up next, we have the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Cincinnati Bengals.
This one's also tough. Like the fact that it's the earlier start time for the Seahawks, gives a little bit of trepidation to me. I do think right this minute, Seattle's the better team. This factors to a close game, but I'm going to lean ever so slightly Seattle, who's going to get a run game going against that Bengals defense. And I just don't know that the Bengals are going to be able, because they're going to have a game plan for Chase, and I don't know who else the Bengals are going to rely on. I got the Seahawks.
I actually do have the Seahawks in this game as well. I do think that look, Burrow looked really good last week, and the offense looked really good last week, but that's against Arizona. Seattle's a completely different animal. They have a solid secondary.
Yeah,
especially with Woolen and Witherspoon as corners. Yeah. So, and with no Higgins on the roster,
that's not confirmed. Like Higgins might play, but you're talking Higgins with cracked ribs.
I mean, I wouldn't play him if I was Zach Taylor, but
especially when the bye is next week.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't play him, but Zach Taylor is not a rational human, so maybe he does it. But either way, I got Seahawks in this. Eric, what you got?
Seahawks are coming off the bye, and their defense can handle the Bengals' offense. So I'll go Seahawks.
I'll be against the grain. I'm going to go Bengals. That this is their "we're back, prove it" game. They prove that they're back. And they are a genuine contender in the AFC again, and they plant their flag trying to make it to the playoffs again this year.
This one, I will say, early prediction could be game of the week.
Yeah, I think this has
it's one of two for me.
So I am going to go defensive. Bobby Wagner.
Ooh, Wagner's interesting. I'll say Stonks because I don't think Mixon's going to have a very good game.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I'll say slightly Stonks. I'm not an overly confident Stonks, but I'll say Stonks. Yeah.
All right. So is that are we all in agreement? All Stonks?
Especially with the Bengals offensive line, yeah.
All right. Up next, San Francisco versus the 49ers versus the Cleveland Browns.
I know people want this to be the trap. There's not confirmation that Deshaun Watson is playing yet. Even if he does, he's not going to be at 100%.
We didn't talk about the Browns this week. That story that came out that Watson's healthy. Watson's fine. He just didn't want to play last week.
That's
not good.
He apparently didn't practice yesterday.
Yeah. That's not good at all. That's concerning.
What? Watson making horrible decisions, get out.
Oh yeah, I know.
I'm
very
shocked
by that. I know.
I'm taking the Niners in this one. I know it's going across the country, going to the earlier time zone. I don't care.
Yeah, look, my concern with this game is each week for the last 5 weeks, the hottest team in football has then looked very bad a week later. Every single game a week later, when you're like, oh my God, they're the hottest team in football, a week later, you're like, they look like shit. The Lions were week 1, and then I can't remember who were week 2, but then week 3. Cowboys were week 2. Week 3 were the Dolphins. Week 4 were Bills. This week's 49ers. 49ers look like the best team this week. That one I am a little concerned about. That being said, I think this 49ers team is that good, and they will prove the doubters wrong. And I will come on here on Tuesday next week and go, yep, Brock Purdy's MVP.
I mean, I'm at a crossroads because do I want Cleveland to lose? Yes. Do I want Jacob to eat shit? Yes. I need Cleveland to lose more, so I'll go Niners.
I'll go Niners, but it's going to be closer than what people are probably imagining in their head if Watson plays.
Oh, the 5.5. It's 5.5 points. Avoid. I'm actually half tempted to say. I'm actually.
What's the over under that?
I'm half tempted to say Browns at 5.5. I'm like, I'm really. If it was closer to 3, which I think it should be, I would be a lot more willing to take it, but yeah, 5.5 is oof.
Yeah. And look, I need the Browns to score less than 10. I need the Niners to score more than 30. Sorry, more than I need the Browns to score less than 7, and then I to score more than 30. And
Final score 29-8.
If that doesn't happen, then I'll chalk it to week 1. So that is we're
all right. Well, let's go defensive again. How does your boy do?
Myles Garrett.
Does Garrett establish himself in Defensive Player of the Year territory?
I mean, he's already in there. If we're completely honest, he's already in there.
Okay, what has a hand on?
Does he usurp TJ Watt? Is that what you're asking?
No, I'm saying does he make it a contest? Because right now it's Watt's award. Watt has a hand on it. Garrett this weekend, if Garrett gets 3 sacks against Purdy, that's really gonna up his stock.
It depends on where he lines up, because first of all, Garrett versus Trent Williams is going to be a fucking amazing battle to watch. I want to see that. So I do hope they put him against Big Trent, and I think Garrett's good enough that he'll notch at least 1 sack. But I'll call that stonks.
He'll get. I agree. Like I don't think it's a game wrecking performance, but he'll do enough to get noticed. So stonks.
Agreed.
I am. This game. I'm really this will be the second time this year that we've had a NFC matchup against AFC North matchup against the 49ers that we're all hyping up as going to be a great game, and then the 49ers just embarrass them.
I hope you're right. I hope you. Well, I don't hope you're right, but I do hope that. Actually, I don't know. I wish the Browns could lose and you could eat shit at the same time. Like I wish that could happen, but there's no possible way that could actually happen. So
I mean, it could. Myles Garrett gets 4 sacks. Brock Purdy looks like shit, but they still somehow win.
Yeah, but then I'm sacrificing my Lord and Savior TJ Watt, and I don't want to do that. So up next, speaking of bloodbaths, let's talk about Carolina Panthers versus the Miami Dolphins.
Can we just move on from this one? The Dolphins.
Yeah, skip.
Yep. Bet this one. Bet the over. Bet Dolphins on this one. They're 13.5 points. You've got to eat 2 touchdowns. They're getting them.
Just throw out somebody for the sake of stunks.
Let's Mostert now that Achan's injured.
Stonks.
Yeah.
All right. Up next, we have the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars in Jacksonville, which is usually a death sentence for this team.
The Minshew revenge game.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Colts. Sorry, I'm going Jacksonville with this one. Colts have not won in Jacksonville. They can't.
The last time the Colts won in Jacksonville, Andrew Luck was the quarterback.
Yeah, they just can't win here, unfortunately, which is pissing me off. So yeah, I'm gonna say I am going to say Jaguars win this game.
I got the Jags. I think ETN is going to repeat what he did against Buffalo against this Colts defense. And
however, I am saying take the Colts in points because I think it's a close game. I don't think this is because you're getting 4.5 points. I think it's by a field goal. I think this is less than a field goal. And
Gardner Minshew is going to will this team. Like, say what you will about Gardner Minshew, that dude fights as hard as anybody in the league.
Hey, he's not left out the Hall of Fame for no reason.
Yeah.
All right. He was quiet last week, but does Jonathan Taylor come back?
Not against this Jags defense.
Yeah, not against this running rushing defense. That sucks. All right. Up next, we have the New Orleans Saints taking on the Houston Texans.
I'm going with the Texans. I think that the Saints are coming off of this. Oh, we just shellacked the Patriots, and they're gonna think they're coming in high and hot. And Houston, every single game has a chip on their shoulder. I think they're gonna come out with more to prove. I'm going the Texans for the upset.
I really don't trust the Saints offense at all. I think they have one of the worst offenses in football, but man, they've got a good defense. Like they got a really good defense. This is going to be a really good test for CJ. I think it's going to be all right. Let's see you go up against a really good defense.
He did that already.
Yeah, but I think the Texans. I think, and look what happened there. I
know.
I'm so mad we weren't here last week, Mike. I'm so mad.
I'm so happy. I'm happy. I'm delighted you weren't here last week.
Well, let's recap that game right now. So let's talk about the Steelers versus the Texans.
Any conversation about that is gone. We ain't doing that. We ain't doing this anymore.
I think the Texans win this game, but it's a lot closer than it's a really tightly fought game.
Yeah, I got Texans this one also, especially if Derek Carr is 100%, I think maybe, but considering he's not, and for whatever reason they keep putting him back out there, no.
I'll go against Grant. I'll take the Saints.
Okay.
This is also I'm betting on this one. I've got Texans at 1.5 points, so take this bet.
Oh yeah,
like you're getting 1.5 points for the Texans, so I've gone take that bet.
All right, and what you got, Jacob?
I am. So how does CJ do against that defense?
He's careful, which is what I like.
Statistically, will look good. I don't think they're going to put up a ton of points.
Yeah, this is going to be a low-scoring game. So
we didn't mention that we have a new record holder.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
right.
most completions.
Yeah. I mean, man, Dak had a bad week. He had his record taken away from him, and then the game.
and he played like shit.
Yeah, and he threw 3 picks. It's like, oh god.
Yeah, but I'll say slightly not stonks for CJ because I don't think it's gonna be a very high scoring game.
Okay.
All right. Up next, we got the New England Patriots taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. We can only hope for a replay of the ending of last year.
Well, yes, I can hope for that. I can also hope for like the satellite feed to go out on this game, so we don't have to watch it. So like,
I can hope for Bane to show up.
It's good.
Yeah, Bane, don't attack Pittsburgh. Attack this fucking stadium.
Jesus Christ! And it's one of the late window games, so it's like gonna be on Red Zone.
There's no options.
No. What else is on in that time?
It's the Jimmy G and Jacoby Myers revenge game.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
Would have been the Chandler Jones revenge game, but he had that last year.
I'm gonna say Raiders because I think theirs is slightly better offense. Given
How awful the New England offense is. I mean, this is the test. If you can't do anything against this fucking defense, you're really awful.
I'm also going the Raiders. Like, and I think this is the ugliest game of the week.
This is gonna be.
It's Mac Jones is getting benched for the 3rd week in a row.
Oh please, please!
Genuinely shocked the NFL didn't put this on Amazon. Go, hey, we're flexing it out. We're gonna put this one on Amazon.
I feel like Amazon, Michael. Screw you up, Michael. You gotta watch this. Why? What did I do to you?
Stonks.
Nobody.
Jesus.
I'll take the over on Jesus.
Yeah. Okay, because Bailey Zappi, how does he go?
We're already counting on Matt getting benched.
Donk.
How does Bailey Zappi do in this game?
Bailey Zappi throws a touchdown with 3 minutes to go, and the Patriots lose 20-7.
Yeah, okay. Concept. How does Crosby go? Yeah.
Stonks. 100%
Stonks.
Crosby goes nuts.
Yeah.
Stonks. Not even a question. All right. Up next, Arizona Cardinals taking on the Los Angeles Rams.
Sneaky close game.
If Connor was still there, I would agree, but
yeah.
I
that
got the
O line,
Rams.
Yeah.
I got the Rams on this one.
I got the Rams winning, but I think this is going to be a sneaky close game. I think it will also tell where are the Cardinals actually this year. Like, are they actually just full on tanking? Because if they like, we'll see in the second half if they're like winning, they're just like, here, Stafford, have the ball, run. Just start seeing them completely tank.
Run. Okay,
Like
that's going in the
70-yard
intro. That's going in the new intro edit.
Here you go, Stafford, run.
There you go, Everett. Run, Stafford. Go.
Stafford
Run.
gets a 70. Like, can you imagine? There's that stat line. Stafford has a 70-yard rushing touchdown, and it's like, okay,
I would laugh. I would cry out of laughter.
that would be
Mac
the
Jones got
NFL
5
Cup.
touchdowns.
The NFL would come in and say, you are not allowed to tank. Like, we are putting in a tanking rule. Like, for that.
Mac Jones having a perfect passer rating is more likely than that.
Oh yeah, but I got the Rams on this one, and I think this one gets fairly ugly.
Okay. Yeah, I think Rams win. With cutback, how does Puka go?
Always stunks.
Against this defense, I gotta go.
But that's what does Stafford throw the ball to him, or does he just keep going Cup all game because Cup's wide open always?
Good question. I still think he gets targets. I think he gets touches.
Yeah. I'll take Puka and I'll take the Rams in this one.
All right. Last episode, not the last one. Up next, your boys, Mike, the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the New York Jets.
The Eagles are going to win this game. It's not in question. I don't think it's going to be a very high score on either side. I think the Eagles are going to, because, and I say this for a reason, if you've watched the Eagles this year, they have been eating clock on offense more than almost any other team. Their average drive is going like a half a quarter every time. They are going to put their points on the board, but it's not going to be explosive. They're going to just march down the field. They're going to win this game handily. The Eagles are going to beat the Jets handily, but I don't think it's going to be the offensive explosion a lot of people think it's going to be.
Okay.
Yeah. I also got the Eagles on this one.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a good test for the Eagles, considering I think this the best defense they've gone up against so far.
I believe
Probably.
so.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting to see how that pass defense goes and the run defense, but also I generally feel like with no AVT, Zach Wilson might get murdered.
Yeah.
Jalen Carter might get 3 sacks. That's not out of the
This
question.
could get ugly. This game could be very ugly very quickly.
All right. So Jacob, what you got for this one?
Well, given this game could get ugly very quickly, how does Brees do against this Eagles rushing defense?
They're going to use him early. It's a matter of how much they give him the ball. I think early in the game, Brees right now, yards per carry is, if I'm not mistaken, he's leading the league. And
That makes sense.
so he's gonna do well early in the game, but they're gonna abandon him. So I'll say not stonks.
Okay.
Yeah, I think not mostly because I'm not sure if they'll be able to open up run lanes for him. So I'll go not stonks for Brees Hall. Sorry, Brees. Up next, Eric, your boys, the Detroit Lions taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'll go to you first.
Now this is the game of the week, and
It's the first flex.
Yep, first flex. And at the beginning of the year, I thought this was could be an easy win for the Lions, but Baker's been balling. So I mean,
Baker's been playing well.
Yeah,
He's playing really well, actually.
This could be a dogfight.
I think this is a game
strength against strength because the Lions' running game is going to go up against their run defense, which has been pretty good. So it'll be very interesting to see. I'll pick the Lions in a close game.
See, I think this is the type of game that this is a good measuring stick of, okay, Lions, where are you really? Because the Bucks are good enough to have been a pretty good team against mediocre to average. Like they're like a just out of the top 10 or just in the top 10 team this year. But, they got embarrassed against the Eagles. The Lions have beaten up on bad teams so far, plus the Chiefs, but then also had a really bad, like a close loss against the Seahawks, where they weren't great though. So I think this is a good game of, if you blow the doors off Tampa, oh, okay, cool. Lions, you are legitimately one of the best teams in the NFC. If it's a really close, tightly fought game, I think it says more about the Bucks than it does the Lions. If the Bucks win this if the Bucks win this, we may have to start like going, oh, Lions, where are you? Where are you actually? I've got the Lions winning this. I think they're going to win it by a touchdown. I think it's going to be a close game, but like a touchdown's in it. And it's going to be one of those Baker go down the field and he just isn't able to. But I think it's going to be a good game, but I got the Lions.
I got Lions also. I think that this is going to be the Tampa Bay's defense isn't awful, but I do think that this is a point where the Detroit defense is going to have to step up because you got to contain Mike Evans, you got to contain Chris Godwin. Baker Mayfield doesn't strike a lot of fear in me. I don't think he strikes a lot of fear in that defense either. But yeah, I think the Lions win this. They should win this. Fairly, not like handedly, but fairly easily.
Yeah, I agree.
Also, I'll get a litmus test for Tampa Bay. Like, how good are you actually?
Yeah, that's what. But all right, so let's go with Aiden.
Hutch.
Yeah,
Hutch.
Dog.
I don't know a game that I put him not stonks. He's always stonks for me. I'm big on him.
Stonks.
Fair.
All right. Up next, Sunday nights. We talk about Amazon getting hoed. Who will have this shit? The New York Giants taking on the Buffalo Bills.
How did this not get flexed? You're allowed to flex. You are now allowed to flex. How did this not get flexed after the Cowboys and the Giants game week 1?
Detroit versus Tampa should have been put in this time slot.
Yes. How did this not get flexed? I mean, or Detroit, Tampa, fucking Browns, 49ers.
Yeah, I take that one.
How did this not get flexed? This is gonna be such a shit game.
We can all agree. The Giants should stop. We need to stop relying on the Giants on primetime.
Do they have another primetime game this year?
God, I hope not.
I think this is the last one.
4 out of 6 now.
They have one against the Packers. I don't know if it's they have one against the Packers. I just don't know if it's an Amazon or if it's a Monday. If it's a Monday Amazon or
either way, that must be stopped at all costs. That must be stopped.
You gotta get that game off prime time. Yeah.
Yeah.
But either way, Bills. Just no question about it. Just Bills. Just Bills.
Bills. I'm not betting on this game because they're. Okay, I'm not betting because they're 14.5-point favorites. And
take it.
No, I want to see this. I want to see the Bills with this defense now. I need to see them playing because they've got basically a backup defense. Admittedly, we're playing the Giants, and I'm fine with that.
Offensive line.
Oh, and Daniel Jones probably isn't going to play either. So
yeah, that too. Which that might help. That might help the Giants. But I think also what I'm more worried about. The reason I don't like a 14.5-point line is you get destroyed by a garbage time touchdown. A garbage time touchdown ruins it. So I am not betting on this game to save myself.
All right. I mean, they're on my parlay, but again, did money line. So
yeah, money line's fine. So
14 points is a lot.
14 is a lot. Okay, given how does Darren Waller do with Tyrod Taylor throwing him the ball? Because he might actually.
Is Daniel Jones out? Is he hurt?
He did
Neck
his neck
injury.
last game.
He got
I'll be shocked if he's back.
Not stonks. He
I
wasn't.
don't
He
like
wasn't stonks.
anybody in the
He wasn't stonks with Daniel Jones. You're not gonna be stonks with Tyrod Taylor. Not stonks.
Okay.
All right, and last one Monday night, the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Los Angeles Chargers.
Me and my mother-in-law are going to like another bar or somewhere to just get out of this house for that game. Nope. Don't want to be in this house for that game. Not looking forward to it at all. My father-in-law is a massive Cowboys fan, so Sunday night was not fun here. And my fiance is a massive Chargers fan. So this ain't gonna be fun at all.
No, it's not.
I think Taylor was the only non-Cowboys fan who was devastated by that by how badly the Cowboys got beaten, because they're gonna come out pissed. They're gonna come out pissed. And this is a really good litmus test for, okay, Cowboys, you beat up on 3 of the worst offenses in football. Go up against a good offense. Where are you really? Because, and then we'll see what the Cowboys offense is like, because the, Chargers defense sucks. So we'll see where the Cowboys really are. I think it's a good litmus test for them. And I think it's also a good litmus test for the Chargers of, all right, how good is your offense?
Yeah. I'm actually letting a charge on this one. I do think that their offense can stand up to the Dallas defense. And look, if you can give the Dallas long fields, which if Chargers are scoring, they will. We know that Dallas is not going to drive length the field to score a touchdown. So I'm leaning Chargers.
I'm leaning Chargers, but you know how I said, Raiders, Green Bay was 2 bad head coaches? We're going to see that again, because Brandon Staley is going to shoot himself in the foot yet again somehow. But we're going to see if...
And he's going to find a way to save his own ass somehow.
Yeah, right. Somehow.
And I'm going to just want to wring my neck again.
So Keenan Allen is going to look directly at the Dallas Cowboys, and he's going to say, "Are you a cowboy like me again?"
So this is like the greatest thing I've ever seen. One of the greatest things I've ever seen. All right. So Jacob,
I am gonna say Chargers, but Jesus. Actually, no, I'm not. You all said Chargers. I'm going to say Cowboys, so that I don't put the jinx on them, and it's not my fault.
Fair.
happy life, right?
So, Keenan Allen, you mentioned it. Keenan Allen.
There's no against the current Cowboys secondary. Keenan Allen goes off.
Thanks.
Man,
All right, and that's going to do it for the show today. Eric, thank you so much for joining us. Where will we find you?
Thank you for having me. You can find me on social media at handsome_cheese. Sometimes you have to add an extra underscore at the end, depending on the social media website.
All right. And Jacob, where can we find you?
You can find me just at Jacob London, pretty much on everything.
Mike.
Find me on What the Show every Wednesday night. And we do have a big stream coming up. Actually, a special Friday night show on October 27th for our 3rd year anniversary.
Come at Twitter, chance_91. Check out the podcast Stories by Chance. Our episode on Unforgiven is out. Our final Eastwood episode will be out very soon. Then we can get finally, just like give a really, really good scare fest for the year. And thank you for watching, and we will see you next week.